So hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Question Block. And last week I asked, what is your favorite mechanic in an RPG? And basically, this can mean anything that differentiates the battle system from a regular RPG battle system. And this can come in many shapes and different forms, and that's what I'll be discussing today in this video. So let's go ahead and get into the responses. So Boy Game said, action commands to do more damage. For example, Super Mario RPG, Mario & Luigi, Paper Mario, and Bug Fables. Yeah, but the Mario RPGs, and also games inspired by them specifically, I feel like they're utilized really well, and is part of the reason why the Mario RPGs kind of got so many people into, like, RPGs in general. They just add that engaging element that you don't get from a lot of RPGs, and I just think it's really cool in general. Like, with Super Mario RPG, you had, like, different attacks that you had to, like, memorize and everything, and once you got it down, the game is pretty easy, but it is really fun to kind of, like, learn and master, so even though it does kind of make the game easy, it is just really fun overall, and definitely adds quite a lot to the game, and I feel like it really wouldn't be the same without them. And they've kind of expanded upon that concept in Paper Mario and Mario & Luigi, where it's, like, kind of even more in-depth, like, especially with Paper Mario, with the first two games, there's a lot of really cool action commands there, and then with Mario & Luigi, you have, like, the bros attacks, and also how you dodge enemies as well. So, action commands really are really interesting and really fun, and definitely kind of, like, add a level of, like, strategy and depth to, like, an RPG battle system, and I feel like it definitely makes, like, a standard RPG turn-based battle system more appealing to a lot of people, because I feel like a lot of people will definitely be interested in that action element there. That's partially why, like, the Mario RPGs are, like, so appealing to a lot of people, and a lot of people who like the Mario RPGs generally, like, stick to them and everything, though, I mean, they still are kind of, like, a point where people can kind of, like, move on to other RPGs as well, but I can definitely understand, like, why the action commands make the Mario RPGs so appealing. But yeah, moving on, Master Green Jay said, games like Miitopia that have a relationship system, having your party members share bonds that can help on combat, such as performing unique combo attacks or protecting each other from getting hurt, is a genius way to make the battle system more fun. Yeah, I agree. I really like Miitopia's, like, relationship system there, and I really like how you can kind of, like, increase that gauge as well. Like, you can get, like, the different tickets, have them, like, stay in the same rooms and different things like that. And then you get, like, all sorts of, like, different things that will help you in combat. Definitely kind of adds to the incentive of kind of building up these relationships in Miitopia, and then you can also, like, switch out, like, different Miis in your party and everything to kind of, like, create that big, like, web of relations, and I just think it's really fun and really interesting. I definitely think that's something that makes Miitopia pretty unique and just pretty engaging overall. So moving on, VMan776 said, I really enjoyed the boost system in Octopath Traveler, intentionally using weaker attacks to build up BP that could be later used for multi-hit attacks that helps to break enemy defenses faster, deal significant damage while defenses are down, or even access moves restricted to maximum boosts is insanely rewarding. There are even moves that let you gain, steal, or redistribute BP. There's a lot that goes into getting the most value out of your boosts, which is critical if you want to see success in combat. Yeah, while I haven't played Octopath Traveler, I do like those additions in RPGs that give you, like, an extra kind of hint of incentive there, like, every once in a while with different things, like, if you kind of get, like, an upgrade in, like, EXP for, like, a certain thing, or, just, like, something in general that kind of, like, helps you, like, along with, what you would kind of normally get. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool, and I definitely like that that's a feature there. But yeah, I don't have too much to say since I haven't played Octopath Traveler, but I do like those mechanics that kind of, like, allow you to kind of, like, distribute your, like, points and different things and stats, so I think that's pretty cool. So, Natural Nova said, surprisingly enough for me, it's not something from Thousand Year Door, but Undertale. I'd say the soul mechanic when enemies try to attack you is my favorite, since it's the most engaging gameplay-wise. With you having to dodge attacks, unique attacks, and even have completely different gameplay styles for when you have the blue parkour soul, the green shield soul, and the yellow shooting soul. The same applies to Deltarune and Undertale Yellow. Yeah, this is a really cool system, and I definitely think it's, like, pretty iconic and pretty well utilized overall. I just, like, really like how it was implemented. Like, the fact that you kind of have, like, a lot of them, you have, like, like, different gameplay styles. I know, like, the most iconic one is, like, the kind of, like, the bullet hell style where you have to, like, kind of dodge different projectiles or different objects and things, but, like, the fact that you get, like, all of these different little, like, gameplay things is really interesting. It's almost, like, somewhat comparable to, like, Paper Mario's action commands, or I guess, like, action commands in general, as well as, like, Mario and Luigi's dodges, but in a very unique format. Like, you have that element of action there, but it's kind of, like, portrayed in a completely different way. But, like, I could see that, like, concept, like, still being there of, like, having some engagement in the battle rather than just attacking and taking turns. You have that element of control there and that element of action within the battles. So I think that's kind of adding on to that idea, but in a very different and unique way, which I really like. And I think it would be cool if more RPGs kind of, like, had that element of engagement. And I am about to get into yet another one in a minute, but I just think this one is pretty cool. So, Recarcinated said, rolling HP in Earthbound and Mother 3, where it makes it rewarding for choosing your moves quickly, or you could heal or finish the enemy before your HP hits 0. The rhythm mechanic in Mother 3 is one of the coolest ideas I've seen in an RPG. The concept for this is so cool, and I wish more games did something like this. Though it's very overpowered in Mother 3. I was able to beat the fan translation's hard mode while avoiding almost all enemies. Still awesome though. Yeah, I definitely agree with the mechanics in, like, Earthbound and Mother 3. I know a lot of people say that, like, oh, Earthbound, the Mother series, that's just a standard RPG with, like, a quirky art style and a unique setting. No, it actually adds quite a lot to the battle system as well. Like, the rolling HP is, like, honestly a genius mechanic. Like, I just really like how you can actually, like, manage to beat some enemies as well as, like, just, like, healing, like, just in time, like, before you actually, like, die and everything. And, like, with a game like Earthbound, kind of more speaking for Earthbound than Mother 3, I feel like Earthbound is a bit, you kind of have to go a bit out of your way to heal fully in some areas, or also, like, recover a fallen party member. So that definitely kind of gives you the incentive to beat these enemies as fast as possible, stay close attention to that HP meter, and, like, just beat the enemy and everything. It's just, like, such a great mechanic, and it's also great that it's in Mother 3 as well. But with Mother 3, the rhythm mechanic is great. Like, honestly, I would say it's definitely up there with Paper Mario's action commands as one of the best mechanics, like, in RPGs. Like, in one of my personal favorites. Like, the game is so unique with how it handles the battles. Like, in the beginning of the game, or with, like, certain battles, like, the kind of like the battle themes are a bit slower and kind of easier to get into the beat, but then like later in the game, the battle themes are like much faster and just like much like a little harder to get into that like rhythmic beat there. So I think it's really cool how it handles that, and like the music towards the end of the game just goes so hard because of that. So I just think it's really cool how they incorporated that. Like, yeah, it is overpowered, like kind of comparable to Super Mario RPG's action commands, but it's still just a great mechanic overall. So, Clifford Longhead said, "The Super Guard from Thousand Year Door. I hope I get the hang of it in the remake, unlike the original." Yeah, the Super Guard is a really cool mechanic. I know some people don't like it, like they say like, oh, it's just like it's a fairly easy mechanic to get like, yeah, like once you play the game for like quite a while, you will like do the super guards, you will learn those super guards, and like it really isn't like too hard to master because you just have to do like a specific timing over and over, but I still think it's a really fun mechanic overall, and it definitely kind of adds to your moveset quite a lot. I just think it's pretty cool overall. Like, I mean, yes, it could have been handled slightly better, but I do like having the option to super guard. Like, it definitely makes some like challenges and things within Thousand Year Door more interesting, and I honestly kind of wish that like the other games had a super guard, because I just think it's like it's fun to pull off, like disregarding like the very high skill ceiling of Thousand Year Door. It's just like it's a really cool risk versus reward system with Thousand Year Door for like 99% or like 90% of the players of the game. It's like a really cool risk versus reward system there. And I just think I think it's a pretty cool mechanic overall. Like, I mean, if they made the window, like, if they made a hard mode for Thousand Year Door, where they kind of decreased the window for doing a super guard by, like, a couple frames, I feel like then it might be, like, a little more justified on the, like, kind of like the, more challenge, oriented side of Thousand Year Door, but, like, in terms of, like, the Super Guard in general, I still think it's a pretty cool mechanic. So, Fafo the Great said, just the battle system from the first two Paper Mario games in general, all the mechanics associated with it, badges, FP, star points, action commands, partners, it was already so intuitive in the first game, but the evolution of it in Thousand Year Door is just unmatched. There's already so much more they could do expanding upon it, it just sucks that they abandoned it after that. We got to see the Mario & Luigi battle system iterated on naturally for more games, so I hope one day we get a Paper Mario game that does the same for its traditional system. Yeah, and with your last statement there, I feel like now is more likely than ever for that to happen now that we're getting a Thousand Year Door remake, and it's likely to sell well as well, so I'm definitely holding out hope for the next Paper Mario game to have a traditional battle system that kind of expands upon it and adds like welcomed new mechanics that kind of add on to that. But yeah, the battle system from the first two Paper Mario games is just great in general. Like, I don't know what people mean when they say, oh, it's just a standard RPG system when I see some people defend the battle system in other games, but like, I just think it works really well. I still think it's like a very unique and interesting take on a turn-based battle system. It expands upon Super Mario RPG a little bit, but it also does something like very unique as well. Like, with the way that the partners work is just really cool, and the badges are also amazing in general. I know, like, a lot of other RPGs, like, have equipables like badges, but the way that Paper Mario handles it is great. Like, it's just really fun overall, and it's definitely one of my favorite, like, battle systems in general, just because of how engaging it is. But yeah, anyways, the next question is, if any studio could develop a game for a franchise, who would it be, and what should they do? The suggestion was by Devin, so thank you, Devin, for suggesting that question. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.